So it is September 18th of 1918. On this day, or during that week, some people were walking by Leonard's house and they got a horrible smell of something. Call the sheriff to come check it out. When the police get there, they go inside, they discover a horrible scene. His wife has been stabbed multiple times. She had a broken arm. They also had cut her stomach. There was a deep gash, and there was a half-developed child sticking out. She was pregnant. The bed had been set on fire too to try to cover up the murder, but it had gone out before it had covered up anything, so it was fairly clear what had happened at this scene. And Leonard was nowhere to be found. They very much suspected it was him, but he was long gone by the time they discovered this body. They expected that it may have happened on a Friday, and they didn't discover it until Sunday or Saturday. But 6 months later, they would eventually find Leonard down in Greenwood, Mississippi, which is a little bit south of here. So I will say, if you do commit a crime, don't go south, go north, because apparently if you go south, you get caught a lot of times.
My name is Jennifer Vesey. I am the owner of Oxford Ghost Tours. I started it in May of last year in 2024. I came to Oxford in August of 2023, and I really wanted to go on a ghost tour because I love them, but there wasn't one in Oxford, so I decided I would start it myself. So I started digging into the research of the town and doing my own investigating. That's kind of how it all snowballed and started.
Girl who could supposedly see ghosts on tour one night, she said not only were there people behind them when they were sitting on the benches, but there were people over on those balconies as well. So just a little fun fact as we sit here together today. I know, right? It's like, hi friends. Hi friends. Welcome back. So this is the end of the rod. You'll see me holding it right here. But these things, they spin all around. So there's no way I can put it up and I can go like this all I want. It's not going to really turn the way that I want it to, or it will look chaotic. If there's someone here with us, that is crossing. If you could cross for yes and uncross for no, that would be wonderful. Perfect. Is there someone here who would like to speak with us? Yes, okay. Would you like to uncross for me, please? Can you uncross for me? Thank you. Now let's see, have you talked to me before? No, okay. Can you point to where you are right now? Oh, you're over there. Okay, cool.
Many people would be interested to find out that the street of Oxford Place near the square is actually the site of a major execution that happened in 1902. There were two men, Will Mathis and Orlando Lester, who murdered two U.S. deputy marshals. Their names were John Montgomery and Hugh Montgomery.
They claim, both Will and Orlando, that they just shot the men and set them on fire. That was it. But John's body was mutilated. Both of his legs had been severed from his body, and his arm had been partially severed as well.
Once they were murdered, the town was very upset, very angry, to where they almost lynched Will Mathis as he was being brought in. They started a bonfire even on the courthouse lawn waiting for his arrival.
And Will was claiming that he didn't shoot the men. Orlando said he didn't shoot them. They were both going back and forth on he did it, he did it, he did it. So it was a hot mess. So people were asking a bunch of questions. But eventually, after about 30 minutes, the sheriff quieted down the crowd. And then they had two different ministers pray over the men. They put the hood on Orlando after he said his final words. 12:49, they put the hood over Will. And at 12:50, they released the trap. It was said that their necks did not snap and that they actually strangled to death. Only one newspaper reported that their necks snapped. They had really bad convulsions as well. It was said that even the crowd rushed towards them and was trying to touch them. And the police had to keep people backing away from it. They cut the bodies down and they sent them off to their loved ones.
A lot of people don't know about Oxford being completely burnt to the ground basically in 1864 when Union troops came through here. It was one of the most destroyed cities in Oxford. And a really cool fact that I learned was that Lafayette County came up with their own money so they could get themselves through the hard period of their money now being useless and their town being completely demolished as well. So our first stop is next to the Oxford Creamery, and that's Schneider's story. And as I said, I think that he passed away in Holly Springs as opposed to here in Oxford. His is just a very tragic story here in Oxford. Once we go to the Chancery Building, where the Mathis and Lester trial happened, the murder of Leonard Burt in that alley, it starts becoming more active, especially as we go towards the courthouse. So I usually keep that device on me to keep it interesting. But I think too, I was gifted with the ability of storytelling. And so the way that I've been able to combine the history, the ghost stories, and speak of it has also really helped me in telling these stories and keeping it interesting for people.
And he was like, no, Will, we're not doing this. Let it go. Can you touch that device that's shining and make it go full red, please? Are you able to do that? Yes? Would you please touch it and make it go red? All you have to do is touch where the light is. You did such a good job. You're doing so good. Thank you.
So I do carry what is called an electromagnetic field detector. And it's a device probably about this big. And what it does, it has a series of lights on it. It goes from green all the way up to red. And it essentially detects when there is an electrical current around. If we're standing in the middle of the street, it shouldn't go off. But if I put my phone up next to it, it'll start going off like crazy because there's electricity there now. Some people theorize that, or it's known that matter cannot be created nor destroyed. So we're still made of matter even though we are living right now. And there are some studies where I've read that when we pass away, our bodies do weigh less. And people speculate that that is the soul portion that has then disappeared from the body. And so because we can't be created nor destroyed, we become like a little energy ball that can then radiate electricity or matter to people. And there are different theories on whether, you pass on, whether there is such a thing as reincarnation, and we could go over a million theories and possibilities. But I think that some people do have unfinished business here, and there may be a time that passes where they're no longer able to cross on, and that's why they're kind of stuck here, as opposed to moving on to a new life or going to wherever your belief is of the spiritual world. I am so passionate about this, it oozes out of me. And I think that people can tell that on my tour, and that's what makes it so fun and so easy to talk about. I love history. I've always loved history. I wanted to major in it, but my parents were like, no, you can't do anything with history. And I'm all about proving people wrong. So here I am doing something with history. And I find this town so fascinating. There are so many people who fought for it to be where it is today. And learning about their stories and who they were as people has been really interesting and a really cool journey. And also, I love the paranormal.
One night, I had a group of 3 sitting on that bench, and they were all friends. And all of a sudden, I started to feel a tickle on my throat right here. And the best way I can describe it is it was a mix of like if it was a loose hair just kind of floating there, but also if you can think of when someone touches you and then lets go, you still have that lingering effect that like someone touched you. It felt like that amplified. And so I had on my little microphone set because I was feeling myself and getting used to whether I needed it or not. And so I started rubbing my neck like this because I was like trying to rub the hair away if it was there, but the sensation would not go away. And so I'm over here telling my story, rubbing my neck like this, and I'm like, my people on tour are going to think that I'm a crackhead, that like something's going on. because I kept rubbing. And I was like, I am so sorry, you guys. I'm not really sure what's going on, but like I just have this weird sensation on my neck. And that's when it hit me that the story I was telling, there were quite a few neck injuries that happened. And so I was like, maybe they're trying to send a sign to me. And one of the girls sitting on the bench, she said, I saw your neck starting to turn red and then you were rubbing it. So I thought you were having an allergic reaction.
I love what I do. I love the people I meet and just everything surrounding it. And I believe in being respectful to ghosts. So I'm always like, thanks for showing up, thanks for not touching me when I don't want you to. So I think it's really cool to be a part of this and to have something that's like my baby and that I created on my own. So yeah, I love it. I adore it.